Hey everyone, this is Daniela from the implementation team inside Pipefy, and in this video I'll explain about modeling and implementation mindset inside the platform. So the very first step is to know about your own process to have a successful implementation. But for that, we need to go back a little bit and understand what exactly a process is. So a process is any recurrent activity, not only complex ones. It's basically anything you do, always following the same steps, or you should be following them. It can be simple things like baking a cake, or complex activities like building a car, for example. And here why it makes a difference having a process platform like Pipefy, for example. The idea is to avoid that any activity or phase of your process gets skipped, and also you can make sure that all those phases and activities follows the same pattern, because there's always a better way to execute the process to achieve better results or a faster way to achieve those results. The completely opposite of what some people think, it's not very well structured companies that have processes. Every company has their own processes, and some examples are purchase requests, expenses reimbursement, help desk tickets, accounts payable, accounts receivable, for example. Also, a very common mistake is to use project management tools to manage processes. And for that, it's very important to understand the difference between projects and processes. So projects are defined by a time frame or a goal, and they have a very clear beginning, middle, and end, and they are unique. And they will get to the end once they achieve their purpose. Processes, on the other hand, are cycles that will repeat many times, and we learn with mistakes in execution. Then we can improve for the future. Usually they have execution rules and standards. So for the mindset of the implementation, I need to identify what's my input, what's my process, and what's my output. The input is going to be everything that it starts my process. It can be a material, a form, an email, or a phone call, for example. It's all the information I need to start my process. And the output, on the other hand, it's going to be what I need to deliver in the end. Like it can be results, a service, a product, and the process itself, it's going to be like all the steps, everyone that's going to be involved to achieve the output. So one example we like to use a lot inside Pipefy, it's like we're building a car. So let's explain the process, how it would be. So basically our input to build a car would be the design of this car, all the necessary materials, the engine, for example. And the output, what we want in the end, is going to be the car already finished and done, ready to be sold. And of course, all the metrics, all the data, and the average time this car took to be ready in the end. And the process itself, it's going to be basically the assembly line. Everybody who is involved in the process, all the phases, and everything happened in each phase, in each machine to build this car, to be ready in the end. In order to illustrate all that I just said, I brought the phases in a workflow chart of a purchase request process. So basically here is going to explain in a purchase request what's the input. It's basically going to be a form that an employee is going to fill in all the information and what needs to be purchased. And all the process itself until we get in the end what we need. Basically in the end, we're going to have the purchase request done. And of course, it's going to generate an invoice and an accounts payable for our finance department to pay this account. Now I'm going to show inside Pipefy how that would work, how that purchase request would work inside Pipefy. So basically here we have all the phases, and here we have our start form. That's how our employee is going to request anything to be purchased. So basically our employee will come up here and fill in all the information in what needs to be purchased, how many I need, what's the urgency and everything, and I'm gonna create a new request. So here, each block of this one is a request of something that needs to be purchased. Basically, each phase of my process is going to have activities that we have to do inside each one. So in this first phase, basically, we're going to make somebody an assignee of this process. We're going to choose what's the type of the request of it's being purchased. In each phase, we have activities inside. So for example, quotation, we can pick the supplier, we can attach the document, we can even put somebody responsible to approve this request. Same here on the approval phase, we're going to have like a field saying if it's approved or not, and same when it goes on. And here basically we're going to generate a payment in the end, and once it's done, we're going to have our purchase request done and the account already paid. So that's it. If you guys have any other questions, please don't hesitate on contacting our support group inside the platform. So clicking up here, you can create new conversations with our support group. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.